All right, we're back again. Mermaider here with Hell 22.
Shit.
Chester couldn't make it with us tonight. Not sure how things are going with the midget that we mentioned from last episode, but anyway,
it is a female midget, right?
It is.
Okay.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, we haven't seen her, so it's fine.
So today we have a lot of interesting things to share with you guys. Hell 22, you did a review this past week on the band Mayan, right?
I did. Yes, that is correct. That is correct. I did do that. Mayan is actually a side project of Epica guitarist, vocalist Mark Jansen, formerly of After Forever. I mean, the album's really great, really aggressive. Not what you would expect, from the guy whose biggest claim to fame nowadays is Epica. I mean, the album's really aggressive. There are bits of it that almost remind me of like an Insiferum type of atmosphere. Really heavy. But they got a lot of great guest vocalists to do the album. He does the growling and grunting.
Right.
But they got Floor Jansen, also of After Forever, the female vocalist of After Forever. Simone Simons, your girl from Epica.
My girl.
They also got an Italian opera singer whose name is Laura Macri. Her vocals on the album are just astonishing. She fits in beautifully, but she's so different than everything else on the album. It's really incredible. Definitely something to check out. A lot of aggressive riffs. A lot of crazy drumming, but the beautiful female vocals kind of tie it all together.
Now they're fairly new to the whole metal scene right now.
Yep, this is their first album. They formed last year, 2010. So
okay.
they had a couple lineup changes before they solidified and got this album out. The album is called Quarter Past. Definitely check that one out. Mermaider, you did a review of Alceste. I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, Alceste is I guess you could call them a post-metal band from France. I mentioned in the review that they have some black metal influences. It's a one-man band. At one point, the band did have 3 members in it, but I guess the main guy wanted to go off and do his own thing. I don't know if there was some disagreeing within the 3 of them or whatnot, but it's now just back to 1. The album itself, the recordings were raw, again, with the whole black metal scene. A lot of the guitars were screechy and low quality on the drums. Some of it was not as clear, but I mean, overall the song structure was really good. It's a lot of the songs on the album are over 7-8 minutes long.
Oh wow!
I think there's only 6. Yeah, there's only 6 songs. There's clean vocals in certain parts of certain songs, and then there's also like harsh growling going on, which is again more for the black metal side. But it really, I don't want to say that it's all just black metal. It really just, I don't know. You have to hear it for yourself. I guess the only way I could put it in terms is more post metal or maybe post black metal. I guess their first album that he did was specifically black metal, and then he started fading away from that.
Oh.
So this is their new, his newest album right now. But I really liked it. But yeah, so you also did another one, Year of No Light, right?
Yeah, that's another French band. It's kind of funny that when we started doing this site, I don't really think we equated France with metal. But you did a Gojira review, and Arcane's from France, Year of No Light from France, Alceste, all of them.
Yeah.
Year of No Light is kind of up that same alley. I don't even know what to call them. It's funny, I reference an interview the band did, and one of the members of the band was kind of laughing about all the different classifications that they get. But I mean, they prefer to be called progressive, which I definitely think they are. But it's instrumental. Some of it's heavy, some of it's a little bit on the, I wouldn't say anything comes to the lighter side, but there's varying degrees of heavy. Really strong drum work. The drum work is just incredible. I mean, the kick drum is just thunder. Yeah. But, everything flows together so well. The album's only 4 songs. All 4 songs are, in and around that 10-minute mark. The last 2 songs are 13 minutes each. And there's no filler. It's just, you get so much from it. And, I think we use the term atmospheric a lot, even when it's not necessarily what we mean. But this album is, I think, the definition of atmospheric metal goes. Mm-hmm. It really creates great backdrop. It really, I was blown away by it. The name of the album is Auserwelt, which apparently is a made-up word to some degree, taken from another word. But So this was their album, their most recent album. Their album before was Njord. That was a fantastic album as well. But this is definitely a band you gotta check out. Bordeaux, France isn't all about wine and cheese. It's really it's becoming a hotbed for metal, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
I think the big topic of the day is one that I'm not going to say we've been putting it off, because it almost seems like the easy topic to talk about, but we've kind of been debating back and forth amongst the members of our team and trying to really get a clear idea of how we really all feel about downloading. We've asked some of the bands these questions. We've gotten some responses with more coming, but there really is it's not black and white. It seems to be such a gray area. Mm-hmm. Catatonia, actually, on their Twitter the other day, posted an article from a site called The Quietus. The name of the article is How the Music Industry is Killing Music and Blaming the Fans. There'll actually be a link to it. You'll see directly below this podcast. There'll be a link to the article. Definitely check it out. It kind of takes the downloading angle from everybody's perspective, the labels, the bands, the fans, everything. Mm. But, Mermaider, you and I have talked a lot about downloading. I feel comfortable enough to say that we have downloaded our share.
Yeah.
When do you think downloading goes from a good thing to a bad thing?
Well, for those of you who don't see anything good in it, or are not sure what we're talking about when we say that there is good things to it, obviously besides the fact that we're stealing, but good in that it helps the bands as well, is that it's spreading the music, and it's almost like sampling. Mm-hmm. So fans are able to sample your music and get the full, not just 20, 30 seconds of a clip that you stream or whatever, but you really get to sample the whole album. And you and I, when we listen to these bands that we download, if we like them, we end up buying the album.
Yep.
So,
but do you think we're in the minority? Do you think we're in that dying breed that downloads an album because you're on a site and you see the album cover and you go, like, this looks like something I'd really be interested in. Especially you're on a black metal kick lately. You're really getting into it.
Yeah.
You see these album covers, something described as, atmospheric, depressive black metal. You want to hear it.
Right.
You download it, you listen to it. If you like it, I know you're going to buy the album. You're going to order it. You're going to go into a store and buy it.
Right.
Do you think that we're alone in that?
Yeah, to a point, I think we're definitely the minority in that not a lot of people are doing that. Which is a shame, and that's where the whole part of hurting the industry comes in, because there's so many people who take advantage of it and don't go out and actually support the bands after. They just download it and forget about it, and I don't think they realize really what they're doing, how the damage that they're doing.
Well, I think that a lot of people look at it as like they're sticking it to the labels, but in actuality, in the end, yes, you're sticking it to the labels, but you're really sticking it to the bands. Mm. Because, if a band doesn't sell albums, what label is going to keep a band on that doesn't sell? Mm-hmm. And if everyone, if you're a fan of Skogan, or if you're a fan of some of these smaller black metal bands, why would a label continue to give them money to record and everything if no one's going to buy the album, if everyone's just going to download it?
Yeah, right.
And I agree with you in that I don't think downloading is entirely a bad thing, because let's face it, you and I have worked in and around the music business in some form for years now. Mm. And while there are a lot of bands that are shoved down your throat, you go online, you find bands you've never heard of, bands that you never would have heard of. Yeah. We're in the U.S., we're not, in Europe, so some of these bands are so foreign to us, and we have no way of hearing this stuff, and I think that downloading takes the mystery out of it. I think you get a chance to just kind of, you're listening to the buffet of music. You can kind of take your pick and listen to everything, and it's kind of realizing what MySpace tried to do. You think MySpace was huge for bands to put up their music and everything, but it was either a whole song, but it was just one song from an album, or it was a 30-second clip to give you a taste, and you didn't really get a feel for the album. Now you can grab an entire album in 30 seconds and listen to it, and by the next day you can make the decision: is this a band I want to see live? Is this a band I want to buy from? Do I want to own a shirt?
Right.
There's so much more to it. But I think part of the problem is that they're the separate classifications of downloaders. They're the ones who download. It's us. The ones who download to sample. If you like it, you buy it. Honestly, I think everything that we have on the site that we've reviewed, if we downloaded it to review it, we ended up buying it right after,
Yeah.
or we bought it in the first place, or we've tried to find a way to get it. Some of this stuff's not exactly easy to get a hold of.
Right.
Then you have the people, I'll just call them college students,
Okay.
who download everything. They don't buy a single thing. They don't buy it on iTunes. They don't buy it in the store. They just download it.
And that's more because they're broke.
Because they're broke,
So-
or people just...
Well, that's how they were raised.
Yeah.
They kind of just don't care.
And then you have the people who just don't know. They do a little bit of both, but they haven't really made the decision, like, do I want to spend my money on this? I mean, let's face it, CD sales are declining.
Yeah.
But I think the main argument that you have to make is that while downloading can be good or bad, what are the reasons people download?
Yeah. Well, that's one I was thinking was money.
Yeah. I mean, you go to a local music store, if you have one in your area, whether it's a Best Buy, FYE, Target, Walmart, wherever you get your music from, you could be paying $16 for a CD.
Well, there's so many people with the mindset of, well, I could just download it for free. Why am I going to put money towards it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's their argument, more or less. And I mean, I see where they're coming from, but if you keep doing that, then there's not going to be any more bands and artists. You know, there's going to be less.
Your favorite bands aren't going to get to make albums.
Right, and maybe you won't be able to see them if they don't have enough money to go tour.
Yep.
You know, so it's kind of on you. But they don't see that, or they don't, like you said, they just don't get it. They don't understand.
Because there's so many working parts to the industry that you can't just say downloading is good because it helps spread the music. That's only one part of it.
Right.
You can't say it's bad because it's hurting the labels. You can't say definitively one thing or the other. It's a mix of so many things. But I think that we know people. Let's face it, we know people who download only, do not buy anything. I know people who are huge fans of Opeth, Catatonia, all these bands, and they do not own anything released in the last 5 or 6 years. They just kind of go, I can just download it for free, put it on my computer, done. But that doesn't help the band at all.
Right.
And especially in metal, these labels are not. I don't think Peaceville is a cash grab label. I don't think they're trying to steal your money. I think they're really trying to give us good music.
Yeah.
So if you don't support that label, where do they go? What do they do? How do you put music out if you're not going to make any money?
Yeah.